Hello. Today we're going to talk about free body diagram. So this is associated with Newton's law. So definition. So it's a diagram that has all the forces with with their application point. Okay. So what does that mean? So it's a diagram that has all the forces acting on the system. Okay. So FBD, we're going to short it as free body diagram, right? So this is referring to a system, okay? So by a system means it's something that we interested. So for example, I'm going to give an example here. So if you have a wedge or like a slope, and now you have an object, okay? And this object is your system now. So that's your object right there. So this block, right? This block is your system. Okay? So I don't really focus on the slope. I'm focused on block. So that's my system. So now I'm going to try to draw the free body diagram of this block. So we have something that goes from the center of gravity. I'm going to call that one. I think everyone knows that. I'm going to call that one mg. And I'm going to assume we know this angle here too. Okay. And then we have the normal force that's going this way. Denote that as N. Okay. And then we're going to assume that we also have a friction here. So let's say the friction is going this way. I'm going to call that small f. So that's your friction there. So when I draw something like that, okay, so usually they just want it to be just the system itself. So if I redraw it, you will have the mg going this way, and this is the application point of the mg, right? So that's your application point. So that has to be clear. And then you have the end, the application point is right there because that's where its contact is made. The contact between the slope and the block. So your application point is right there. So that's your application point. Okay, so that's your N, and this is your mg. And then you have your friction, small f, and the application point is right around there. Okay, so it's on this surface here. Okay, so sometime if they ask you to label it, then what you should do, I'm going to change in color again, and you should say this is gravitational force. So it's desire to do this. And this is normal force. And this is friction. Okay? So in this case, those are the three forces. So we only ask for the forces. We did not ask for the component. Okay? So I'm going to change in color to remind you. We did not, right? Did not need force component. Okay? On the FBD. Only the forces itself. So all the forces acting on the system. Okay? Only on the system, right? Not by the system, but on the system. Okay? On the system. There are forces this block acting on to the slope. but we don't care. We only want to have all the forces acting on the system, and the system here is a block. Okay? So what might help is the following. So you may want to label this one here. If this is theta, this one here is also theta. So you may want to label this one here to be theta, like that. So that could help. Okay, and certainly this one here would be theta there too. Okay, and if that's theta, then this one here will be theta there too, right? But you don't need to label all of them to be theta. So you just label one of them. I think it's good enough. All right, so that's the free body diagram, and hopefully this is a very, very good tool. It's a tool, it's called isolation tool. So you can isolation, right? Is to isolate your system. So you only look at the block, okay? Only look at this one here. And that's your system. Okay? So it's isolation on the system. All right. So that's all we have today. And we'll see you until next time. Bye-bye.